Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 7 of What If Naruto Was a Uchiha that created his own village. I know I've not been posting this for a while, but it's coming back guys, and I'll be posting a lot more episodes, so yeah, sit back, relax, and I hope you guys enjoy. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out the other What Ifs over the other channels if you're new. I posted a new series over Anime King 3 of What If Naruto became the vessel of a god. So go ahead, check that out, and yeah, enjoy. And I also posted the final episode of What If Naruto was Ano's Foldigo reincarnation over an Anime King. So go ahead, check out that, and yeah guys, enjoy. And remember, if you're new, don't forget to go ahead and obliterate that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado or wasting more time, how about we jump right into this brand new episode? Let us begin now guys. So, to do a bit of a recap from the last part that we left off, Hiruzen wanted to have a seat and have a proper conversation with Naruto, but Hiruzen was a realist. Despite how he wanted peace, he knew that it wasn't going to be that easy. So he had to prepare for the future just in case. And in doing so, Tsunade Senju was going to have to return back to the village. Yes, she was gonna have to return back home. However, so far, Jiraiya was having absolutely no luck finding her. He was searching high and low, however, she was nowhere to be found. As he was starting to worry, his contacts got no information on her, going back a few years now. Something did not seem right at all. He thought that she was out there, but she was completely off the map, off the grid. And this was not very common, so he was worried about her. As for Naruto and Urza and their guards, as they went to Kumo to have a peaceful talk and conversation with the man, however, the Raikage started things out rather rough on his views on things. None of the great nations recognize the village as a main village, so for him to be calling himself a Kage, Kino Kage, he did not recognize that, or did any of the other great nations. The Raikage made it clear that he did not matter what Naruto had with Kiri. Their village did not recognize him as such. However, Naruto made it very clear for him that he did not ask for his opinion on the matter. The Raikage soon come to realize what Naruto was trying to say. Even if Kumo did not see it as such, even if Konoha or the stone or the sand did not see it as such, he did not care for their opinion, not in the slightest. The Raikage now understand where this meeting was going, as Urza made the point clear as well, with the proposition for the two villages and how they can coexist amongst one another. As Naruto said, her mind was truly incredible as she wrote up a proposition for the Raikage. He looked over it as he scanned it. He then proceeded to rip it apart, as he was not going to sign anything because they were not here for them to create an agreement with each other. They were here for him to annihilate him and take the land. The place was surrounded as the Raikage and the guards used a back entrance while the entire place exploded. A violent blast that was supposed to take them out, allowing the Raikage full govern and full process over the land and taking that land and all the Uzumakis and Uchihas for himself. However, the group was completely unharmed. The Raikage did not know how that was possible as Naruto stood at the head. Naruto told Urza to get ready with the transportation jutsu as he took on the Raikage and his elite guards. Even by himself, Naruto was a monster. However, Urza noticed something as he battled. The battle didn't last long as Naruto was able to annihilate a few of them. That is when she came, Uchiha. The Raikage was confused. However, Naruto had a mind-tampering seal placed on her. It would activate when he sent the signal out, as Naruto brought her with them. When Naruto was talking to Uchiha and she was confused, when he asked her what did she desire, he wasn't talking to her, he was talking to the two tails. As his goal was to free the two tails and allow it free reign in their garden, in the sector beyond their land. Naruto teleported away, along with his group, completely safe. Urza wondered why he didn't end it though. Urza knew that Naruto was greatly powerful to put an end to the Raikage there. However, Naruto wanted to make a public show of it. For the next in line to see. He knew that there was a war coming. There was a war that he would have to fight. It was the only way for them to understand that the village would not bow to any of their whims, that the village would not bow down to any one of them. We then had a little time skip as Naruto brought the Nibi open to the massive area. It was a truly shocking sight and revelation, as Isobe was there. Kurama was also there as well. The Nibi was not so sure, but it was putting its faith in Naruto for now, because this human was unlike any other human that it ever came across before. So it put its faith in Naruto. As Naruto went to talk to Hina and Kaido, it seems like just coexisting was not enough for the rest of the world. So they were going to have to fight, as Naruto already made them a promise, as he assured them that he would never allow this village to fall. And that was a promise of a lifetime. As Naruto proceeded to head towards a house, a man, his name was Ichigo. Ichigo was the best herbalist that he ever met in his life. He never met someone that knew about plants so much. After all, there were countless people that live here that weren't a Uchiha or Uzumaki, and Ichigo was one of the first. However, Ichigo was not alone here. His two kids came out as they jumped upon Naruto. The mother then came out as well. The mother was none other than Tsunade Senju. Tsunade Senju had been lost for a long while until she was found by none other than Naruto. It was a shocking revelation when she found out what he was trying to do, believing that the world would swallow him and the people. It took a lot of convincing for her to even think about returning. She met Ichigo as he was a part of their medical department. Tsunade started to feel something after spending a lot of time with him, something that she's never felt for anyone else except for someone, and that was Dan. One of those late nights they spent the time together. The next morning she was trying to forget it, but her feelings for Ichigo was there. As they start to be with each other, months passed and she found herself pregnant, where he proposed right away. She was about to deny him, believing that he was only doing this because she was with child, but it turns out that he was planning this for some time. He already had the ring, and now she had something that she never thought that she would ever have. A happy family with her own children. However, she was not about to let her people and her children suffer by the hands of the other nations. She's already made a vow that she would never go back to Konoha. This was her home now. So yes, she of course would stand by their side. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the place, check out for yourself. So as we begin this new episode guys, word about the battle between the Raikage and Naruto was not known by any except for them that were there. The Raikage did not allow this information to spread, except for when he told it to the Tishikage. It seems like Naruto was exactly correct on the Raikage actions, with having one of his tail beasts being taken away, and seeing just a bit of Naruto's power. Arrogance was going to be his downfall though, as he still believed that he could take Naruto on himself. However, the last time they faced off against the Uzumakis, it took 3 nations, and yet Countless of their people were wiped out. The sealing art, and not to mention the Sharingan, those damn Uchihas. He was going to need help. And who more to help him than the man that despised them just as much as him? Yes, the Tsuchikage Oniki, who also wished for their downfall. However, we start this episode fully off with Mei Terume, as she was looking towards a letter that was sent to her. A letter that was sent from the Raikage. They wanted to have a meeting with her. Her being the Mizukage of the village. Mei knew exactly what this was about. Naruto had informed her of the moves that were being made. She decided to write a letter of her own, which she was going to send to Naruto. As for her letter that she was going to send to the Raikage, she knew what he desired, and she was not going to get involved. As Mei went to writing. Meanwhile that was going on, Hiruzen Sarutobi was happy when he received a letter from the new nation. Yes, he was happy, because he was trying to gain a good footing with Naruto to prevent all of this. He would rather talk things out than go to war. However, he had no idea that the biggest threat that he should be worrying about was right under his nose. Naruto's letter was basically saying that he would sit down and have a conversation with him. However, Hiruzen realized that in this time they could not. He was doing this after the Chunin exams as he sent word back to Naruto. And Naruto was being quite respectable and acceptable of what he was asking. Hiruzen sat down with each members of the council as he told them about his meeting with Naruto and that they could have a peaceful conversation without sending their ninjas down a rabbit hole to die. Most of the members of the council were agreeable to this, believing that it was better for them to sort this out before bringing their weapons out. However, Danzo was happy to hear that, because Danzo's plan was counting on Naruto agreeing to this meeting after the Chunin exams. As Danzo sat back and relaxed, everything was falling exactly in place. Soon enough, he would be the Hokage of this village, and no one will be here to stand up against him when he does take the hat and lead these people into the right way. Meanwhile that was going on, Naruto was seated on a boat. He was actually fishing. Yes, this might seem to be rather concerning given the time they were currently in, with Kumo and the stone wanting their demise, but here he was, relaxing and fishing. Urza was by his side as the both of them were seated in the boat. They used to do this a lot, well they still do on occasions, this being one of them. After all, she was the first Uzumaki that he had met, not counting Mito. That helped him and they helped one another. And this was a way for him to calm his mind. A lot was taking place. Naruto did not want to go to war with Konoha. He would rather avoid the senseless chaos. Tsunade was going to be there. They had a plan how to avoid all of that. However, if it is push, of course he would fight and defend his people, but Konoha was not his main concern right now. It was Kumo and the stone. He received a letter this morning from Mei Terume about the letter that she got. He was glad to hear her response, especially towards the Raikage. The ninjas were already securing the border and making sure that they were keeping an eye out, because the both of them knew not responding in a kindly favor to the Raikage would put her on his list and put Kiri on the list as well. "Whoa, I got one," said Naruto as he started to pull it up. However, it was a struggle to do so, as he was pulling and pulling and pulling. "Must be a big one," Urza said. As Naruto pulled the thing out of the water, it was a shark. Both him and Urza's eyes went wide. They were off the mainland on the boat. This ocean was basically theirs after all. Not many would travel through these ocean areas, as they had gone beyond the whirlpool. Naruto did not fear that there was anyone out there that would try to act against his village at the moment. At the moment, the Raikage and the Tsuchikage were probably gathering their forces and preparing themselves Naruto pulled Ursa down as the shark flew right over their head and crashed back in the water. It pulled Naruto, fishing right away, leaving him rather sad. As Ursa started to laugh, "It's not funny," he said. Sometimes he could be so soft and innocent. Other times, sweet and caring. And other times he could be so ruthless. He was a man of many mysteries. Thinking about it could only make her laugh as Naruto leaned back in the boat. Ursa, wiping her tears away. She didn't know why she found it so funny, but she did. "You know, since the time us fishing out here, or anywhere, you've never actually caught a single fish," Ursa said with a chuckle. "Huh, to think of it, you're right. I guess I would suck as a fisherman," Naruto said. "Yeah, really badly." "Well, it doesn't matter," said Naruto. "Being on the ocean like this just bring me peace. We haven't hung out a lot lately, so I'm glad that you're here with me." "What are you talking about?" "We just went to Kumo." "That really isn't hanging out," said Naruto. "I suppose you're right," she said. "I know that you don't want to talk about any business right now, but I'm the one that knows everything about your schedule and your meeting with Koyoki is coming up soon." "Yeah, that," said Naruto. "Hey, don't you like Koyoki?" Naruto asks. "Well, she is a good person." "Yes, why do you ask? You don't seem to be happy whenever she's mentioned." She looked at him. "And how do you know that?" "I told you before, I can read you like a book," said Naruto. "Maybe in your dreams, but in reality, you can't," she said, looking towards him. "Is that so?" said Naruto. "Let us play rock, paper, scissors then." "Why?" she said. "Just for me to show you how much I can read and understand you." "Fine. You're not gonna prove whatever you're trying to prove," she said. As the both of them started, she first threw rock as Naruto threw rock. She threw paper next. Then she threw paper once again. Then rock once again. Then rock, scissors, paper, rock, scissors. She was confused as he was throwing everything that she threw. How are you doing that?" she said. She looked at his eyes. His Sharingan was not activated. In a fight, you first go for the offensive and then the defensive. And then the defensive once again to study your opponent. And then you go in to crush them. I simply mimic your movements in a fight. Into this frame as well. You're telling me I'm that easy to figure out? "Oh, come on, no one else can," said Naruto. "It's just someone who has known you for a very long time," he said with a smile. "I care about everyone here," said Naruto. "And I'll be willing to fight and die for each and every one of them. But you're different. You're more special to me than that. Sometimes I believe that it's beyond words or comprehension." She just kept on looking at him. What are you trying to say?" "You know I love you, right?" Naruto said. She sighed in her mind, believing that he was speaking of the term love as friendship. "Yes, I do." "No, that's not what I mean," said Naruto. She paused. She looked him directly in the eyes. What do you mean?" she asked him, looking at him. "Since I met you, and we started this whole conquest, time has passed, so much time. There was so much to do, so much busy work, and I barely had time for myself at all. But I loved to do what I did, because it meant making you guys happy." "Do you remember when you were with Takashi?" Naruto said. His name was Takashi Uzumaki. Takashi was a friend of hers when they were younger, and he had asked her out. She had said yes, however, during the whole time they were going out, she realized that she never really loved Takashi. She loved him as a friend, but Naruto always occupied her mind. She broke it off. It was some time ago. Since then, she hadn't really been with anyone. She had been on a few dates. There has been a few people that asked her out, but it never truly worked out. I always knew that I cared for you. When I found out that you were dating Takashi, I never understood these feelings I was feeling. Through my whole life, I've loved a lot of people. However, these loves were as a mother, as an aunt, as a sister, but I never really loved someone as man and woman, said Naruto. I've been physical with a few in the past, but it didn't matter what happened. These emotions never spring with these people, but just talking to you here, just being with you here brings me this peace, this feeling that I can't truly understand. The only other person that knows about this is Natty. I've sat down and speaking with her, and she told me how she felt for Ichigo, and I realized it's the same. I never really wanted to say anything about this, because I never really wanted to ruin our friendship, Naruto said looking at her. You and I have been friends for a long while, and I think that you only see me as a friend. And I know what I'm doing is truly selfish right now, and even if you turn me down, this will not change a single thing with our friendship. But I just had to say something. I couldn't keep it in for much longer, said Naruto. Naruto felt upset with himself as he saw her crying. Why are you crying? She tried to wipe her tears. I've waited so long for you to say something like that, she said, as he looked at her. I never wanted to ruin our friendship either. Believe in that. If you did not feel the same way, it would be over for our friendship and the fun time we had together. When I was with Takashi, I never truly felt feelings of love for him. I've been on a few dates, but there wasn't any connection. But with you, for years I've held these feelings in. I thought that She jumped, crashing right into him, causing the boat to tilt with the both of them, as they fell right into the water. Now the both of them were drenched as they pushed up. They looked at each other as they started to laugh before she got in close and lay a kiss on his lips. It was weird. The both of them had feelings for each other the entire time, but neither of them wanted to admit it because they thought they would ruin the relationship. The reason why Naruto was telling her now was because of his latest conversation with Tsunade after their talk about what they were going to do with Konoha. He couldn't keep in these feelings anymore. He's been with a few women in his past. He thought he might develop these same feelings for them, but that was just sex. Amazing sex, but still, it was just that and nothing more. But with Urza, there was something that his heart yearned for, and he could no longer hold it back. To hear that she felt the same way brought a joy of happiness to him. A great, great joy of happiness as the both of them locked their lips together in a passionate kiss. Time skip. Chaos all around. There was bodies all over. Bloodshed, flames. Heroes and Saratobi. Eyes were fading fast. How could things turn out so bad so quickly? He had no other choice. His last sight was Orochimaru glaring and shouting at him. Before he saw a younger version of Orochimaru, the pure innocent soul. The Chunin exams had went off without a hitch. Until the finals though. When chaos erupted, the sand and sound joining forces, the sand being tricked into attacking Konoha. Orochimaru playing the part of their Kazekage. It was a good thing that Jiraiya was here. The One-Tails was captured in their custody, as well as the children of the Kazekage. Former Kazekage, the man was now dead after all. Countless Andus looked down towards their former leader, as Hiruzen Sarutobi draw his final breath. Orochimaru fleeing away along with the Sound 4 and the ones that survived. However, it was not looking so good for anyone. Time skip. Danzo Shamura stood in the center of the council. Yes, he stood in the center of the council, ready. That is why he said. His gaze swept over all of them. That is why we were attacked. Countless believing that Konoha has gotten soft. We allowed our Jinjulki to be taken, our deterrent of war, making the other nations believe that they can come and take anything from us, and we would not retaliate. Hiruzen promised that there would be a meeting, that there would be a way to solve all of this, but as you can see, he was too late. Is that the same situation that we will follow? Being too late once again. The Sand was pressured into attacking us. Despite the fact that they were used, manipulated, they still raised their arms against us because they no longer fear us. No one does. We've lost countless during the 9-kill attack. The remaining Uchihas fleeing this village, and countless more. And our shinobis were just massacred because they no longer fear us. They would rather fight us and destroy us than even giving us the benefit of the doubt or the fearful action of not pursuing, because they believe they could bring us down. Don't you all see? It is not time to go on remaining soft, because if we are, the world will swallow us whole. In his mind, Danzo was smiling as he saw the looks on their faces. This went perfectly, and now they were putty in his hand. He knew that Jiraiya would never take the position. They gave Jiraiya a month to go and find Tsunade. However, Danzo has also been looking for her. Whether she was alive or dead, Danzo did not know, but she was clearly off the map. And Jiraiya would not find her in a month's time. He wouldn't. So that means a dark chuckle. Danzo's mind resonated as he looked at the council members eating everything up that he says. The fear of being destroyed was pushing them. Even now, they still had the one-tailed Jinjulki in their custody. They might be weak, but the Sand was still much weaker than them. And Danzo was going to use this to his advantage. Yes, he was going to use this greatly so. Time skip. Words spread throughout the elemental nation about the passing of Hiruzen Sarutobi. The death of Hiruzen Sarutobi was something shocking to hear. The man was also named the god of shinobis, yes. He was getting up there in ages, but still, he was now dead. The situation on his death was not really clear, but he was dead. The rumors of the Sand and the Sound attacking and raising hell on Konoha was there for all to see. Konoha was also in a vulnerable situation right now, so they need to strengthen themselves back up before other parties decided to attack in their moment of weakness. However, that was not possible at the moment. Oniki and the Raikage was seated in front of each other. Their discussion mainly entailed the fall of this new nation and the death of Naruto Uchiha. He had to go. He was a force that would never stop fighting, and they had to take him out to break the spirits of the others. They weren't certain what to do with Konoha as of yet, but maybe they would be able to conquer both. But before that though, they had to take out their main threat at the moment. Konoha was busy regrouping and gathering their strength. They would not make a move for some time. While that was going on, to retain his powerful name that make many shiver in fear, the masked man, going by Madara towards a literal Rinnegan user, always have an excuse. After all, Naruto was the grandson of Madara. So, why wasn't he with the regime? Why wasn't he with the organization? However, he refused to listen to his grandfather, more so in believing in the unity of the clan, believing that he could find a better way to coexist and live. However, his existence would be coming to an end because he did not listen. The other nations will not stand for this. The recent news of Konoha has taken a shake on things. That man has 9 tails, the most powerful and the one that they desired. That was the only knowledge that they were quite aware of at the moment. As the masked man sucked himself away in a swirling vortex, the leader of the organization, known as Pain, orange spiky hair, piercings, and purple eyes, someone walked up towards him. Her name was Konan. As she stood by his side, "How longer will you pretend to go along with this facade?" she said to him. As he turned to face her, gazing towards her, I know that his words are filled with lies. However, his input in the organization has helped it grow over the years. "So you're just gonna let it go," she said to him. "No. I'm going to pay this Naruto Uchiha a visit myself. I wish to speak with him on this matter." She looked at him. "What about the Uzumakis? We might have once shared the last name, but we are not connected," he said, as he was no longer the man that he once was. However, he would like to hear the input of this Naruto Uchiha. Perhaps he's also encountered the masked man, going by Madara Uchiha. However, Pain was certain that was not Madara Uchiha, but someone else simply copying to the name. And given what was currently taking place, given how the world was set in a panic-filled session, believing that the awakening of the Uzumakis and the Uchihas might bring destruction to all of them, well, they had to be ready for what is about to come, and he would wish to meet this leader that was going to lead them to their so-called victory. Meanwhile, as Naruto was seated at his table, the information about Hiruzen's death had spread around the entire elemental nation, so they knew about that. Naruto was not aware of who would be taking the position as Hokage. However, given the pattern, he believed that Jiraiya was probably going to be offered the position, but he had a feeling that the man was going to turn it down. Just from his patterns and what he had studied about the man, he felt like he was going to turn it down. That is when his assistant spoke to him over the intercom. "Sir, I incoming from the barrier core." "Put them through," said Naruto, as he could hear the barrier core leader over the intercom. As Naruto listened to what the man had to say, a surprised look on his face. Moments later, we find Naruto on the beach, gazing out, still in his leadership robes, without the hat of course. As Naruto gazed out towards a singular boat that was ahead, waiting for him to notice. Naruto walked until he reached the pier. As he walked on the pier before, stepping down on the water, the violent, colossal whirlpool in front of him died down. As Naruto started to calmly walk out into the ocean, 3 of his people standing by, and the 2 guards that were previously changing shifts. As Naruto stood a few feet away from the individual, on top of the water that was so calm. Usually, observers would not be harmed. You can watch as much as you like, unless you choose to retaliate against my village. However, you're no normal observer, are you? I'm surprised that you would come out here to speak to me yourself, without sending someone out here to check first. It seems you are the right kind of leader I expected. Want to keep his people protective, and stand in front of the danger that they're ready to face. The man's eyes met Naruto, and just like the barrier core had said, as Naruto gazed into the Rinnegan, knowing exactly what they were. "You look at my eyes with such interest and understanding. I presume you know what they are." "Yes, I do." Would you mind telling me who you are? I'm Pain. Pain. Quite an odd name, said Naruto. So, Mr. Pain, how can I help you? I'm here to have a proper conversation with you about your movement going forward. Is that so? And what is your input on my movement? A war is coming your way. If you're as smart as I think, you already are aware of this. The nations are going to team up once again. The last time they did, they almost eviscerated the entire existence of the Uzumakis, but it seems they survive and prevail in the end. But now this time, they will ensure that your existence will no longer be a reality. That is why I am here, to offer you something that no other will offer you in this time of need. My help and my protection, he said. And why would you come here to offer me that? I came here myself because I wanted to see the kind of man you are. Through my own eyes, I wanted to understand the kind of man I'm making a deal with, Pain said as he looked at him. And my only request is that you hand over the 9 tails. I know my request might seem shocking to you, but I have a desire, a goal, that will help the both of us out. And I'm sure that you and your people are tired of being attacked, seen as the enemy, seen as a threat. And with my goal accomplished, I can make it so that something like what happened in the past never present itself as a threat ever again to any one of you. So as you can see, I came here myself, so we can have a proper conversation and you can understand my goal moving forward. Let me guess, said Naruto. You want to take the tail beasts and use their power in order to put the other nation in a state of fear. Maybe even destroy a few of them. Or maybe even destroy just a portion of their strength, to show them that they stand absolutely no chance against the power that you're going to obtain. Pain didn't say anything as he simply stood there. Judging from your headband, you're a former ninja of the Hidden Rain. However, just from your few words I can tell that you're a very passionate person about protecting your loved ones and causing an end to this chaotic world. Despite not truly knowing about my plight, you've come here to offer assistance because you know that we've been through it. And the only one that can truly understand one's pain is someone that has also been through a similar sense of pain, said Naruto. And given your name, you must have been through a lot, Naruto said, looking at him calmly. He was surprised that just from a few words that he was able to understand so much about him. Now he understood. This wasn't your average normal leader, was he? Pain thought to himself as he looked at Naruto. Your mind is a truly fascinating work of art. I can see why these people have chosen you to take the leadership for them. So you should be able to understand the kind of world that I seek. If you understand your own people pain that you have taken it upon yourself, because I know you have, if you have the courage to walk out here yourself and face any threat, by protecting your people, you truly understand their pain. And the Uzumakis did nothing wrong. All they wanted was just to coexist. However, the world did not believe they should, because their power, their fear, their might, and in doing so they decide to wipe them all out. Innocent and children that did not deserve to suffer. A lot of them died for absolutely no reason. So there should not be any objections about the path that I am willing to take to even help your people as well, if you simply hand over what I can use to fix this accursed world. Unfortunately, yes, I understand what you're saying, but no. What? I said no, said Naruto. I will not hand over the 9 tails to you. And your path, while I might understand it, It's a waste of time. You must be angry right now, despite the look on your face not showing such anger. But you must feel the anger for someone like myself, to understand you and what true pain is. If you can say that I understand my people pain as well, yet I do not understand your philosophy. Or I do, but I don't want to understand your path. It's quite simple. Your path is to bring destruction, to wipe out countless, to show the world that there is too much, to show them that they should put an end to it all. However, tell me something. What happens after that? What happens after you show them that path? The only way I see this working is if you are a god, an immortal god that never die. Even then, you have to be omnipotent, to be everywhere at once, to know and understand everyone at once. This world is corrupted, yes. This world is filled with bloodshed and chaos, yes. And you raising your arms and weapons against these people will bring peace out of utter fear. And with fear there will be rage. And with rage there will be war. So in no time there will be war again. And they will even be willing to die than bow to your whims, because they will not respect you. They will simply fear you. I've seen a lot of people done a lot of stupid things out of fear. The Uzumaki is a prime example of that. Despite knowing that countless of their people will die, leaders sent hundreds, thousands of their people to fight in a war that cost many of their own people life, just to destroy a clan that was growing too powerful, despite the fact that it did not even harm them in the slightest, and that was because of one single thing: fear. So no, while your plan might seem believable, you cannot obtain such fear and keep it. It will break, and they will turn against you, and in the end, either you will fall or you will destroy the entire world, said Naruto. However, there is another chance, another way as well. Just from looking at your eyes, you have great power, said Naruto. You also have friends in high places, powerful friends by your side as well, who I believe are under your command. I can just tell by the way you present yourself, Naruto said. The world is broken, yes it is. However, further breaking it is not the way to fix it. But there is a way to solve all of this problem. But in order to do so, you have to remove all of the weapons. Remove all of the world threatening weapons. Then they will understand. Then they will have a chance to think about their action. I thank you for offering your help, but this war that is coming, it has to happen. You would risk your people, despite knowing the numbers that will come to face off against you. Naruto turned towards him as he looked him right in the eyes. You said it yourself. I am the kind of leader to put myself in the midst of chaos just to make sure my people are safe. Why do you think I would start changing my attitude now? Because there were countless coming my way. They will try their best to destroy me. They will try to erase me. However, I will stand at the head of my people as a pillar of support, for them to lean on, for them to know that they're safe. Even if it takes everything I got, I will not allow this nation to fall. I will ensure that their livelihood is protected, that they can live to see their children grow, that their children can live to see their children grow. I will ensure that this place is brought to peace. As much as the world is broken, I have to ensure first that my people are safe. They've been through enough. I cannot do or fix the world on my own. I need help in doing so. I can fix my village, but the world is a much larger place. You've already seen the chaos that mankind bring. You've already seen the bloodshed that they shed. You understand it because you lived that pain. You even gave yourself the same moniker because you've experienced pain that most haven't even dreamed of, and yet they cry about pain. But I can see it. I can feel it, Naruto said, looking at him as he stepped forward. You have no obligation to even listen to what I'm saying. You might be fixed on your own desires and your own plans. However, there is another way. If you wish to talk again, well, you know where to find me, Naruto said as he started to walk away, leaving Tendo there on the boat. He was there for a few minutes until he started to move. Despite no one rowing the boat, it was just moving. Gravity. As he left the area, Konan was not too far behind where the original was, inside of his mechanical walker. Even after understanding and regaining himself after his conversation, Nagato was quiet as she saw Tendo arrive. She turned to Nagato. What happened? Nagato looked towards her for the first time since sending Tendo out to have a proper conversation with the leader. Did you ask him about his grandfather? No, I forgot. You forgot? Konan said, confused. I shall speak to him again. I shall have another conversation with him. What happened, Nagato? I've never seen you this way to understand someone before. Is your mind not made up? Do you not have a desire or a plan to do something? For the first time in a long while. No, I don't. Why? Is it because of that man? He's no mere man. I'm not sure what he is, but I will find out, said Nagato. This was the first person that he spoke to that understood him. Konan understood the pain that he felt because she was there to feel such pain, but this person, despite not knowing of his pain, understood his pain. Despite flat out telling him that he would not give him the 9 tails, Nagato did not feel any anger or rage towards this individual. Instead, he felt understanding. He felt the weight of protecting his people. He felt the gravity of the situation. And Nagato started to think about his own home. Flashes started to run through his mind. Yaiko, his once best friend. We shall protect the hidden rain and keep everyone safe. No longer will this place be used as a battleground for other shinobis. Hell yeah! Other members of the first formation of the Akatsuki shouted as he thought about his own village. A lot of his people are suffering. His village was not in a proper state because for the past few years, he couldn't even remember the last time he walked around his village. And he walked around it when he had his mobility in his legs, but now, Nagato felt away. His whole existence he was questioning. His whole life. How could this happen by just having a single conversation with someone? Just who exactly was that man? Was he even a man to begin with? How could one man change his perspective this way? He never even thought this kind of understanding was possible. Time skip. Jiraiya truly wondered if she was dead. A month had passed by. The time frame that they had gave him had passed by, and yet he still not located Snetty. He still not heard a single thing about her. His spies were on full alert, and yet there has been absolutely nothing. Jiraiya sat in a bar, drinking. Orochimaru was still out there. He thought that the Sanin would pass before Snetty ever did. Despite what she's been through, she must be dead. There was no way that anyone could hide from him this long. Nothing. He had his people all over and there has been nothing. No trace of her, no trace of Shizune. No trace of none of them. Jiraiya had no idea what to do now. He could not be the Hokage. He never was fitted for that situation. He could never simply remain in the village. He was their spy master as much as he could give up that job still. The Sannin released a breath when suddenly the drink that he was about to take up was taken up by someone as he looked to see. He was shocked. Snethy? He couldn't believe it. You're alive, he said in complete shock. He thought she was dead. She sat down beside him. Of course I'm alive, you dumbass, she said to him. That is when Jiraiya noticed someone just sitting down as well as he noticed right here. He looked at her surprised. Despite your goofy, stupid, perverse attitude, I've sometimes forgotten how actually smart you are. You've noticed already, haven't you? What are you doing with them? Them? You mean my family? You're joking, right? Said Jiraiya. No, I'm not, she said. I heard that you've been looking for me. I also heard about Sensei's death. How are you doing? He looked at her oddly. Something was different. She was not the same. It's rough, he said. What about you? She sighed. He was supposed to give up that position a long time ago. However, he loves and honors the village, not putting in his own age and own health. But he gave his life for the thing that he loved, and I can understand that. Snethy, what happened to you? You seem happier, she said to him. Happier? So all this time, come on, Jiraiya, you know that yourself. I've been depressed and sad since I lost Naoki and Dan. I never truly recovered, but I think I finally have. Understanding that I need to put my foot forward and keep on moving. My life has changed drastically. You're gonna hate me for what I'm going to say, but I'm never returning back to Konoha. What? That's not my home anymore. She reached as she pulled out two things. She placed the photos on the decks. Who are these? Jiraiya said, looking down at them. They're my children. He looked at her completely shocked. Your children? As I said, a lot has happened to me. I understand the problem that is facing Konoha and my new home. Stop saying that. You're a part of Konoha as much as I am. You're a Sannin, for God's sake. It's not that easy to just go and leave and abandon your own village. That place hasn't been my home for a very long time. And besides, as much as I'm a part Senju, I'm a part Uzumaki as well. Have you forgotten that? So that's it. He said to her, you've gone off and pick a new life. Even falling for someone else, Jiraiya said. I'm sorry that I was never able to reciprocate your own feelings. This is not about me or about you. This is what is about to come. And the problem that we're now facing with Naruto. And you're on his side. Yes, I am. He was surprised to hear her say that. I'm not going to allow Konoha to take my new home. If it comes down to it, I'll fight alongside them, but I truly hope that it does not. And the only way to prevent this is for you to take the mantle as Hokage. I know that it's not really your style, but I assure you that it's the only way. There's a person that you and I both know that will try to gain that title. Jiraiya immediately knew who she was talking about. And you can't allow him to do so, because if he does, Konoha will never be the same again. Why do you care, he said. You're abandoning Konoha anyways. I still care, Jiraiya. Despite not returning, I still care. He slammed his hand on the decks, drawing everyone's attention. Stop with this bullshit, he said to her, about not returning. That place is not your home. Konoha is. Jiraiya was angry, unbelievably so. She left. Sensei was allowing her time to grieve, time to move on, but she never truly recovered. She kept wallowing in her misery. And now she's finally moved on. Finding someone and having kids at her age. Fall in love with someone. And abandoning her village, abandoning everything that she once knew. Emotions of feelings of jealousy and rage cloud his judgment. You're angry, she said. Snazzy was calm as ever, the calmest that she's ever been. But your opinion is not going to change mine, she said to him. I just came here to talk to you for you to understand why you should be the next Hokage. You understand what you should do. Because you know what's gonna happen if he get the position. We can speak another time when you calm down. She got up and started to walk away as he grabbed her hand. You're not going anywhere, he said. If you're really taking this path, you've become a traitor of the village and standing with another. Jiraiya, don't do this, she said to him. And you think your action is better by betraying your own village. That's not what I'm talking about. Jiraiya felt something as he looked. He then noticed the eyes in the bar. He didn't even see when they came in. He looked towards Nettie. Let go of my hand, she said. Her tone was stern, as she already put her pictures away of her kids. Jiraiya did not seem to care much about their existence at all. She understood that, after years of not accepting his feelings, he must be angry to see her move on, but she knew keeping it away from him would just make him explode in rage down in the long run, so she figured she would just tell him everything right here and right now. Jiraiya narrowed his gaze towards her, refusing to do as she says, believing that he will be able to protect himself. Just in case. You're not going back there, Jiraiya said. You're returning to the village. He wasn't thinking straight. I've already told you. If it comes down to it, I will fight alongside them. And I don't care, said Jiraiya. He really wasn't thinking straight. His hand lashed out, his fingers covered in chakra. He was trying to bind her chakra, to suppress her. It seems raw emotions can be a bit too much, and he was currently retaliating against her. However, her hand shot out, grabbing his wrists. Now the both of them held each other in the bar. She hadn't been slacking in the past few years. She hasn't been slacking at all. Jiraiya felt the blade at his throat. One to his neck, one to his back, one to his stomach. One right above his heart. They were so fast. He was shocked by their speed as he realized that their face was just an illusion. They were wearing masks. These were some of the elites. His special corps of Anvu, standing by Snazzy's side. Do you really want to do this? They won't hesitate to end your life, and that will start a whole crap of shitstorm that neither of us want. So, let me go, she said. Jiraiya was quiet for a few seconds before he released her hand. Stand down, she said, looking towards Naruto Anvus. They retracted their blades as she started to walk. The both of them exit the bar. I'll never forgive you for this, for betraying your own kind and siding with them. In his heart, though, he was angry that she never chose him, and he couldn't forgive her for that. From the moment they met, he was always obsessed with her. However, he painfully watched as she chose Dan over him. And when he lost her, he thought, in a few years, he would have a shot to make her feel happy, because he knew that they were the ones to be together. Instead, though, she moved on. At first, he thought that she was just unable to, and she would never be with anyone, but she moved on and somehow had kids. Children. Children. Now she was with someone that she cared about. Even after everything they'd been through. That part of him was just humiliated in the most painful way possible, and it wasn't something easy to just bounce back from. The Uzumaki that was there and two others that was outside was finished with the formula as they used the transportation seal. Tsunade saw the utter rage in his eyes as she was teleported along with the others. With that, he made his way to Konoha. Time skip. Jiraiya finally arrived. As he was surprised when he heard the Hokage would like to speak to him. Jiraiya did not knock, he simply entered the room. As the back was turned, the chair was turned. It then finally spun around. Seated in the chair, with a hat on his head was Gonzo Shimura. Meanwhile, that was going on in the dead of the night. Shinobis started to make their move. Yes, they were stone shinobis. It seemed that Ishikage was up to something. Finally, it was beginning. But guys, me and subs are right here. If you want to see next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. But I'm off for now. See you guys soon. Peace.